that happened. In my previous video, I talked about the walk cancels for Skirk. Today we're going to talk about early investment options and what will be best for your specific situation, depending on what you have available on your account. A lot can change with what you want to get for your Skirk. Your available options, your weapons, your supports, the number of wishes you have, how big is your credit card. But if you're on a budget, don't fear. There are other things you can do. As well, something I mentioned in my previous video, we're gonna talk about the attack speed combos for Skirk. What to do if you're using Dahlia or Mika. The answer will surprise you. I'm Tekkat and I might have some issues. So let's talk about that. By the way, at the end of the video, there's gonna be my Stygian Onslaught clear, and my failed attempts, as well as the current investment in my account. My builds will appear on screen. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, you got Skirk. Now what? As a rule of thumb, you always want to have a Skiffy. If you're playing Skirk without a Skiffy, think of it as a Z0 -1 instead of a Z0 R0. A Skiffy is essential for Skirk because Hoyoverse hates us. Farina is also important, but the gap isn't as big as with a Skiffy. Now that you've got Skirk and a Skiffy, what should you do? Well, depending on what your benchmark is, some options become more enticing than others. If you're an old player and you have Miss Splitter, I wouldn't recommend to get her signature. At least not yet. With Miss Splitter, you can use Skirk's best artifact set, Magashose Hunter. Magashose is much better than Skirk's signature set because balancing the crit stats can prove much difficult with a crit rate weapon instead of a crit damage weapon. With Farina, you will always have Magashose active, so you're not really missing out on much. If you don't have Miss Splitter, your other options kinda suck, so yeah, go get her weapon. But what happens if you already have Miss Splitter? Well, your next option can be either Skirk C1 or Skiffy C1. If you go for Skirk C1, that puts you one step closer to getting Skirk C2, which is really, really good. So I would say, if you can get past 2 5-star pities, the option is always getting Skirk C2. If you don't have enough wishes to guarantee Skirk C2, and you can only get 1 5-star item, getting a Skiffy C1 might be better for you. Because, number one, Skiffy C1 is slightly more versatile. There's always a chance they release another cryo DPS that is better than Skirk. As well, Skiffy can work in other teams besides Skirk. Skirk needs Skiffy, it's not so true the other way around. We love a strong independent lady. I wouldn't recommend getting Farina constellations. Unless you already have them, that's fine. Farina constellations should be your last priority. So, the order would be getting either Skirk weapon if you don't have Miss Splitter, then either Skiffy C1 or Skirk C1, and if you can guarantee 2 5-star wishes, get Skirk C2 instead, then you can look at Skiffy C1. Getting Skiffy weapon might be around the same priority as getting Farina C1. However, if you somehow have a Farina C1 already, getting Farina C2 will be better than getting Skiffy weapon. So, in that case, yeah, I would prioritize Farina C2 only if you already have Skirk C2, her weapon, and Skiffy C1. But wait, what about the last slot on her team? Truth be told, all the options kinda suck. Except for Shinha, but you might not have her. And she's not even that good. So, what do we do then? As a rule of thumb, you can do pretty much anything as long as it's Hydro or Cryo. Charlotte is good because she gives you TTDS. Sidlali can also give you TTDS and Scroll. Mona can also give you TTDS. But amongst everyone, I would say Yelan is the best one if you don't have Shinha. Though, if you're using Yelan, and you have Miss Splitter on your Skirk, please put her on an attack goblet. Trust me, it'll be better. There are other two options that change the combos that you do with Skirk. Those are Dahlia and Mika. Both of them give you attack speed, and that changes things. I know what you're thinking. Scary YouTube lady. What do I do if I have extra attack speed? Well, if you are using a teammate that gives you attack speed like Dahlia or Mika, what you can do is change the combo that you're doing. In the previous video, I touched on the N3 walk combo. That is generally her best combo. However, with attack speed, it changes. The best combo becomes N2Q, N2 dash, N2 dash, N5, N5, N2 dash, N2 dash, N2 charge attack, N2 dash, N2 dash, N3. Like so. N2, Q, N2 dash, N2 dash, N5. N5 again. N2 dash, N2 dash, N2 charge attack, N2 dash, N2 dash, N3. And that's it. You can also do a simplified version of the combo that has 3 N5s instead of the 2 initial N2 dashes. This combo is N5 3 times, then N2 dash, N2 charge attack, N2 dash, N2 dash, N3. Like so. N2Q, N5. Now, N2 dash, charge attack, N2 dash, N3. And that is the combo. The first combo is slightly better. However, the second one is arguably easier to do. So, if you ever panic, you can change whichever one you do. It's not that big of a deal. Around 5% difference. If you have C6 Dahlia, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, the optimal combo would be N2Q, N5 2 times, then N5 charge attack, then 1 extra N5. But I'm not so sure. I don't really have C6 Dahlia, that's what I saw online. But anyway, these are my Stygian clears. I heckin' love scorking it. This clear uses the N3 walk. If you wanna know how to do that, please watch my previous video. Something cool you can do on this boss is you just want to get through the first phase really fast. So you can spam N2 charge attack to get the meter lower. And it gives you a ton of energy, so yeah. This clear uses Yelan. Yet again, the M3 walk is the best combo for this. And since I have Miss Splitter and Yelan, I'm using an attack goblet. It was overall better than my cryo goblet. The stats are fairly similar.
食前に甘いものを捕まえた。終わりね。力よ。食前に甘いものをかかれ。糸よ、工作せよ。力よ。
Okay, these are not clears, but I wanted to showcase some attempts either way. Here I'm using the 2 combos with Dahlia, the ones that I spoke about, with the extra attack speed. Unfortunately, I only have C2 Dahlia, which is kind of tragic, but it was overall very close. With Signature, this was very doable. This one is also almost able to clear. I did the 3 and 5 combo with Mika. It's surprising how similar it is with Dahlia. I guess with Mika you get more fanfare with Farina faster, because you have 2 healers. And my personal favorite of my almost attempts is Chongyun. A lot of people really sleep on Chongyun against this boss, but he has a lot of really front-loaded cryo application. With Chongyun, your rotations are slightly shorter, and yet again, the entry walk is better. It's so funny to think that this is slightly better than Mika and Dahlia. So, well, if you have a well-built Chongyun laying around, you know what to do with it.
食前に甘いものを全部
ようまめタッ
お披露目だ歌え僕の仲間目も舌も満足させてあげる
強引電剣
僕を支えよう世界の熱狂の冷凍の時間よ観念用意
ようまめタッ
ガジャーン光り輝くがいい目も舌も満足させてあげる
我が命を引きたまえおとなしく使う
メッツ
And that will be all. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.